welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. Today we're going to do a 2024 deck collection recap. I'm going to talk about the decks that I got this year, and then do a quick look at the ones that I haven't featured in any deck collection videos yet. So these are the decks that I got in 2024. I have 17 decks here. 13 of them I purchased, and 4 of them were gifts from family members. We will only very briefly talk about these ones and these because I've already shown them. Well, not this one, but I've already shown these in a collection video before. And then the rest here, I'm going to open up and talk about just a little bit more detail. Let's see. Overall, the vast majority is tarot decks. 11 of them are tarot decks. 1 is Lenormand, my first one. 3 are playing cards, and 1 is an oracle. So, yeah, we'll just quickly show them as I set them aside here. We've got Tarot for the Great Outdoors. I bought this used. Naturescapes Tarot. I bought this on Make Playing Cards. The Children of Litha Tarot. I did not put any Kickstarter decks that have not yet been fulfilled on my list today. When those get fulfilled is when I will add them into collection videos. I've got the one JJ Swiss Tarot Revised. This I also got on Make Playing Cards. I got 2 from James Eads. We've got the Open Portals Playing Cards and / Oracle. We've got the Cosmovisions Oracle in a tin. I bought the Sparking Pen Tarot off Etsy. The Lighted Window Tarot was a Kickstarter that I backed and received this year. The Trek deck was a gift from a family member and was from Etsy. The deck Doppelkopf, which is a German playing card deck, I got from a family member that visited Germany. And the rest, I'm going to do a little bit more in depth because these haven't been featured yet. So we're going to go... Oh, wait, no, not this guy. These are the historic Scene 1 playing cards, sometimes called Chinese stick cards. I have these featured in a collection video already. I bought them used. They are originally from the Fournier Museum of Alava. Okay, so those have all been previously looked at. So let's go through this set of decks. And might as well go in order of acquisition. So that first one would be the Rustic Roots Lenormand. This has been a really fun deck. This is my first Lenormand deck, and I've been getting a ton of use out of it. I do have a walkthrough on the channel. I have not yet played the Game of Hope with it, but I got the rules and I'm planning to learn how to do that. It has 2 extra significator cards, the Person and the Seeker. It's a limited color palette. It has the titles, numbers, and playing card associations. And it's been really handy. The guidebook has poems for each one, a description for each one, and then a quick keyword cheat sheet at the beginning. Here's the title card. This is available on Etsy. It's by Melissa Wotherspoon. Highly recommend. It's It's definitely got me looking at other decks. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe I do want to get a few more Lanama decks. Because I was like, oh, I'll just get the one and have one. But I've been really enjoying using it, especially for very specific household readings. I kind of don't like the box, mostly because when I use my tarot decks or divination decks in the evening, sometimes I forget to put them downstairs until in the morning my kiddo will just like open it, like pick it up, and it'll just fall, and everywhere it'll go. Most of the time I can keep them safe. Okay. The next one is the Pagan Playing Cards Maroon Edition. I have been like sitting on getting this because it's been available for a while, but debating it because I really enjoy the Ivory Edition. But I just wanted to have art from the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, but wasn't super interested in the form factor of the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot because it's so big. And I don't know. I love the idea of having decks that I could use for double card games with 2 decks of cards. So I have this one actually out because I was using it for readings the other day, or yesterday. I ended up getting this because it was available for sale on, was it Artisan Tarot or Tarot Arts? I think it was Artisan Tarot. They're a really great shop that sells a lot of really cool decks. Indie decks mostly, but also some mass market decks. I have a full comparison video where I have the maroon and the ivory editions side by side. But I love, like for plain pips, these are very nice plain pips. Not boring at all. I love looking at which spades and hearts are up and down. I think the clubs do that too. Yeah. And we've got red and blue hues. But of course it shines with the courts and the aces. And this is my all-time favorite ace of diamonds. Here's one of the jokers, which is the devil card in the tarot deck. And where's the other joker? And I keep the jokers in. I read them in the style of Auntie K. Auntie K reads them with one being about you and one being about the environment, but both in sort of fool or trickster energy. Death card is the other one from the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. But yeah, they're really rad. Let's look at a queen. Here's the Queen of Hearts. Here's the Queen of Spades. They shuffle great. Yeah, I like them a lot. I've been using them a ton. I'm really starting to get confident in playing cartomancy. It's been really nice. Okay. The next one is the only one I have ever pre-ordered mass market. which is the Happy Halloween Tarot. It has an enormous box. It's kind of annoying just because I store my decks on a bookshelf in their boxes, just like in a row, and it takes up more space than it really needs to. But I was so excitedly waiting for this. I missed the Kickstarter, and honestly, this version is more what I would like anyway because it's a linen finish. It's got matte edges, matte gray edges. The original was glossy. Not that that one was bad, but I'm just so excited that Sony Graves was able to get it published mass market. And US Games did a really good job. The guidebook's really good. So for anyone who's like, I want to learn to read pips, but I feel not confident about it or whatever, or you're just like, I don't know what I would go off of in the artwork. This one is one of my favorite for a starting deck because they are pipish. So some of them are more pips than others. There's still some art. Oh, there's some upside down cards in here, huh? Only a couple. I interrupted myself. Some of the art is more pips and some of the art is more scenic. But the guidebook is really good. Sony describes the little symbols and the nods that are in the pips in a way that's really helpful. So it is a themed deck. So if you're not about that. But see, these are pretty pippy in a really fun way. Like, let me just pick an example of one that is mostly pip. Okay, how about this one? This is 10 of Cups. This spooky tea set might look completely mismatched, but it's the most fun tea party around. Won't you please grace us with your presence and join us for a sip? Come as you are and get ready to have the loveliest of times. Sometimes life really can be this good. There's a sense of wholeness and completion, like your relationships are, just how they ought to be. You've been trusting your intuition, and through it have found blissful connections. This card speaks of the love and understanding we find with our chosen family. You may be lucky enough to have been born into this family, but more than likely it is made up of peers, friends, and the people you found along the way. Blood is not necessary here. Friends are the family we choose with our hearts. They make us feel seen, loved, and supported. Being with them feels easy and so freaking fun, too. So it's a succinct write-up. Oh, no, there's more. This is a beautiful card that focuses on the energy we exchange with those in our inner circle. It's about finding your tribe. It encourages us to celebrate the uniqueness we each bring to the table to create one gorgeous group. With it comes the emotional stability we often crave in life. This card asks us to witness our own radiance too. Our magnetism got us here, and it gives us the ability to attract those we seek. Here we have an understanding of our intrinsic value, and we feel secure enough to ask for what we need. We are in the perfect position to give back to the world as well. We are overflowing, and it's a gorgeous ripple effect that keeps on giving. And then there's a couple of journal questions. Who is my chosen family, and how do they make me feel secure? How can I show gratitude for the fulfilling relationships I have built in my life? Now, actually, this example, I do have a couple of critiques. So the description I like is the beginning piece. That's what I was really getting at, where it's, it describes it as a tea set, that the cups are mismatched, that it's a party. Like, those are things you can get from this pip and, like, keep in mind and use to inform the meaning of the card in your reading, right? Or, like, which cup is getting tea and the patterns and stuff. Like, there's some stuff to go on here. So it's a good starting point pip deck in that way. I do have a couple critiques in that And this is just a personal thing for me. There's a lot of sort of hints of new agey language in here, which may be your bag and it may be up your alley. So I'm not yucking your yum. But things like manifesting and I have reservations about the fact that the word tribe is in here. That's a loaded word. Take it as, like, do some research on that. I don't know. I think most of the time this makes sense. I'm not sure if we have an understating of our intrinsic value, if that's supposed to be understanding, because that to me would make more sense than understating your value. So those are nitpicks though. But like the energy we exchange, that's the kind of like take it or leave it. I prefer to leave it as far as new age language. But I think this, look at this one. That one's great. And this 4 of Cups, that little rat is like, I'm not sharing my cups. I like them just how they are. Don't knock my little tower over. So this one's been really fun. I did use it quite a bit when I got it, and then after the Halloween season, I set it aside. It's probably going to be a seasonal use for me and not one that I pull out. But I keep them all out on my shelf. I don't, although I have ones that I associate with each season, I don't restrict it to that season if I feel like pulling it out and using it before that. So that is the Happy Halloween Tarot. It's a mass market deck now. And I pre-ordered this one from Thrift Books. Okay. Moving right along. So the next one was a gift. And this is a Visconti Tarot. And this is a Lo Scarabeo version of this Visconti Sforza Tarot. It is a restored rather than a facsimile deck. It comes with a little guidebook. And also a little title card. This has the bling. I have been really into the research of historic decks for quite some time and have been slowly getting one here and there. And when I had the opportunity to take someone up on this, when they were saying, hey, I have some decks I'm getting rid of, I jumped at it. I don't know if this is like the version of this deck I wanted, in that I've been like paralyzed on decision about this because I don't know, the various Visconti decks, there's a bunch to choose from almost, which is funny, like being spoiled for choice from 1400s decks, right? This one has the titles on the side. I don't find them too intrusive. And it also has the numbers. They're the modern numbering. And it has a lovely gold on it. It's been really fun to use. This is one of the cards that was drawn by Lo Scarabeo artist because the devil and the tower are both missing. You can definitely tell that they were drawn later. They look goofy. And then there's a knight that was drawn, but it's mostly complete. Look at these weird muscle babies. So funny. I know they're like cherubs, so they could be super old. And the wands are cool. Look at these. But yeah, this is a deck that I don't worry about being precious with. Like I might, if I had gotten a more like fancy, authentic, collectible version of this deck, because you can buy some really cool, really amazing either restorations or facsimile decks of the Visconti decks. This one again is this Visconti Sforza. There's the Madrone, the Brambilla. I think there might be one more. Maybe not. Let's find the weirdest card. Here it is. The Sun card cracks me up. The guy's head. Ah! Don't chuck the sun. I think I kind of do want the Madrone because it has female knights and pages, I think, to choose from. Yeah. And it shuffles good. It's your standard kind of smooth, low Scarabeo cardstock. The person I got it from had edged it. And then the little booklet does have a little bit of the history, and then meetings. But if you want to know more about the history, I recommend like Marilyn from Tarot Clarity's channel. I recommend Kelly at the Truth and Story. And I recommend tarotheritage.com. Those are all great. Okay. Then I got in the Magic Pantry Tarot. This is a Kickstarter that was fulfilled near the end of the year. It's by Cedar McLeod. It is a wonderful deck. It's indie. And it's all about food. The suits are themed. Comes with a little guidebook that's wonderful. This is my favorite card in the deck. It's been really fun to read. I use it when I meal plan on Fridays. The choices are so good. The symbolism is so good. It gives me lots of ideas to be creative in the kitchen. It's vegan friendly. There's 2 full cards. I just keep them both in. Yeah. Man, I feel like I have more to say about this, but I do have a full walkthrough of this on the channel. So if you want to learn more, go watch that. And I don't know if there are any currently available. Cedar finished fulfilling the Kickstarter, and I think they were going to put their leftovers on the website. So go check out their website. I think it's numinouspirit.com. Press. Or just, yeah. Look up Cedar McLeod Numinous Spirit and you will find their website. It is fine cardstock. It's it feels just like playing cardstock to me. It's like their standard smooth cardstock. It's stiff, not in a bad way. Definitely stiffer than like Los Gerberos. It has kind of a waxy finish. It's fine. The backs are cool. Yeah. And then finally, this is a recent purchase. I bought it used off of eBay. And that is the Jeu de Tarot from Fournier. So this is my first Fournier deck. Technically not if you count this. The Scene 1 cards are from the Fournier Museum, but not the Fournier Company. They are related, but not one and the same. I think the company made the museum. I think that's how it works. But this is one that is, I think, out of print. I don't know. I bought it for really pretty cheap. This is a classic French deck pack. I'm not sure exactly what century this one is styled after. Oh, and there's instructions on the game in here, but they're in French. Y'all, if you want to learn how to play French tarot, go to Riffle, Shuffle, and Roll. That guy has a great channel of awesome historic card games, modern card games, board games, tarot, all sorts of great stuff. And there's a really good playthrough that explains it. There's also an app. I don't know if it's on Android, it's probably, but if you search French Tarot on the App Store, and you can download for free a game where you can play against other people or play against a computer. It's hard, man. I always lose. Yeah, I wouldn't say I know how to play this well at all. Okay, I wanted to look up so I wasn't telling you falsehoods. So French suited tarot took off in the 1700s. So I kind of treat this as my 18th century deck, but which was like French suited tarot decks, Michiati decks, certain Marseille decks, although there's Marseille decks in the 1600s too. But yeah, I treat this as my 1700s deck because that's when this was developed and really took off. This is obviously a modern version. I don't have any proper, except for this little deck, I don't have any proper facsimile historic card decks. They're all modern reproductions or restorations, which I'm fine with because I really kind of like them restored. Here's the backs. It's that small Fournier size. So let me show you a standard tarot card. So here's a Naturescapes standard make playing cards tarot card. And here's the Fournier deck, for example. I don't know if other Fournier decks, because this is the only one I have, are slightly bigger than this. I know that they're typically smaller than a standard tarot deck. This one is meant for playing card games, though. But you can read divination with it. It's a little challenging, and I haven't decided exactly how I want to read with it yet, but I have been playing around. So let's talk about it because it's cool. We've got the trumps, i.e. the major arcana cards. And we've got the Fool, who is known as the excuse. Because in the game, you can use it either as a trump or as an excuse. We've got court cards. Which are like all white dudes with beards, pretty much. And then we've got your pip cards. I bought it used, so unfortunately I don't know exactly information on which of these images are supposedly upright and reversed, but we'll talk about them in a second. I sort of look at them as like, oh, I don't know, peasant versus bourgeoisie life or something. Not always. There's like definitely a dichotomy in the cards, which is kind of neat because everything is double, right? It's double-sided here. Don't worry, I'm not going to put the whole deck in order. I just want to talk about the types of the cards separate. So let's talk about the trump cards. We've got 1 through 21. And they are, like I said, almost like rich people times or activities and poor people times. I don't know if that's true though. If it's just like the uppity ups, or if it's more like city and country life, or if the dichotomies are different in each card and they don't really, aren't really it's not a pattern across the suit. But it often shows folks doing the same thing in different ways. So this is like a break, leisure time. These people are reading mail or chatting, and these people are having a rest in the field out as they work. And this shows like a play or a puppet show, and similarly a fancier looking version of that. Pastimes with kids, pastimes with dudes in their library or study or whatever. Kids learning something. Kids also learning something. And look at that cat. It has a ball of yarn. I don't know. They're really, really cool though. This is the one that I'm like, this is definitely not one of the 1700s versions of the art, because they've got a camera here. This one's painting. Horse races. Work in the field. These ones are playing tarot. And these ones are, I don't know, it's some game with the ball. These ones are hunting. And these folks are fishing. So yeah. It's quite interesting. This one makes me kind of think city and country. But that doesn't make sense here. So these ones are miners, and this one is a shepherd. So I don't know, but it's really neat. So I have to decide how I might want to read the majors. Watering my fancy garden. Shearing my sheep. Okay. Sorry, I coming at this one with a lot of attitude somehow tonight. So there's this, and then the Fool. And the Fool is the most powerful card in the game. where it can be the highest ranking card or it can be worth 0, and you kind of can use it to defer your turn. Then we have the pips. And this is where your French suits came from. Clubs and spades, hearts and diamonds. They're interesting. They have the corners cut off for the numbers. I haven't seen that before. And then we have the quartz. So with the quartz, we have the valet, which is the page. We have the cavalier, which is the knight. We have the dame, which is the queen. And then we have the reign, which is the king. And they look super similar to me. Even the horses look similar. The kings have really big 2 points on their beard. And then these guys have similar beards, pointy beards. This one looks a little different. He's facing forward instead of to the side. Or, like, these ones are all facing forward and he's facing to the side. The queens look kind of similar too. What I really like about these quartz is the suit symbols hidden on the card. See her necklace? He's got the diamond on his shield there. Heart on his necklace. This one, heart at the center of his, like, vest thing. Or his shirt. I don't know. So yeah, that's the quartz. So this is very unique. There are German decks that look kind of like this. And that have like the double-sided trumps like this. And there's, I think, several other versions in various parts of Europe that are influenced by this deck. And this type of deck did overshadow Marseille decks as it kind of blew up at the time, which I think is interesting. And these outshined other suits. These suit symbols became really popular. So German suits, Italian suits kind of got overshadowed by the French suits. So that is the Jeu de Tarot by Fournier. And that is all of the new additions to my collection and a 2024 recap. Because I did my collection videos this year, I wanted only to more thoroughly look at the ones not yet covered in a video, but still wanted to sort of recap my shopping habits, because I think I need to curb my rate of deck consumption. if I'm going to keep them all neat and tidy on my bookshelf, my one little bookshelf. So yeah. These are the tarot decks tarot decks, oracle decks, playing cards, Lenormand. These are the divination decks of 2024. And the update to my collection. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to ask for details on the decks in the comments below, and take care.